I gotta make sure not to touch the top of the screen there. Zooming in on the ballast there in the back. I was in the middle of showcasing the, looks like there's a gap in the back there beneath the weight stack in the back. So I got to be more careful when I touch the screen here. I can pan to the left here as well and get some other shots of the surrounding area. They're offloading a bunch of culverts here on the left. See them there. And I'll get back to the Buckner crane. Gotta be more careful about what I touch on the screen here. It wasn't always the case where if I touch the top of the screen there that it would go blank. I used to be able to do that. I used to be able to swipe up and it would be fine, but something changed. Oh, it didn't go out for you? Okay. Mike, thank you. Next time I'll just stay longer. I'll stay live longer. And maybe it's not, maybe it didn't go bad after all. Thank you. That's really good news. If that wasn't actually, if it was just on some people's and not all, that would be good. But I gotta watch that anyway, so I don't cause that issue for other people. Cool, Nick. It could be one possible thing could be that it takes about maybe a minute sometimes for the stream to go through everybody's, to reach everybody. Like if I say one right now, it might take a minute for people to hear that one, you know, the delay might be different. So who knows? Captain. Scab the Cat. I like that. Good name. the nose cone on those tires kind of reminds me of an airplane, you know? That's kind of what they look like, the tires on a plane. Kind of those huge, big tires. Mike, that's probably true. Pickup truck capital of the world, huh? That's cool. Nick says white seems to be the most common color of a vehicle anywhere, right? Yeah, well, it's sunny out here too, so the white kind of reflects the heat of the sun. You know, this is I think we get 320 something growing days a year down here, so the winter here was so far it seems very short. Crypto Tier says it's the heat factor. Conrad, yeah, cool. Once again, I'll remember not to touch too many things here when a number of people climbs. I'll just kind of keep it not move around too much. That's probably what I should do. I do want to show something here on the left. I'll get a picture of the starships. We got a good shot here on the left of these starships with the clouds behind it. That shot. Starship 22 there in the center has the new type of heat shield there around the forward flaps. Starship 15 on the left doesn't have any heat shield there around that section. Starship 16 doesn't have any heat shield over there either. It's on the other side, but here we can see it in the center there on the Starship 22. They wrapped it around the flaps there a bit. Yeah, and just remember, there was some talk, and looks like we were hearing that they were going to move a Starship to the airport. So I wonder if they are going to move, maybe use one of those 3 Starships there on the left, whether they are obsolete or not. They are Starships, and maybe they will move one of those, place one of those over at the airport here, the Brownsville International Airport. I've heard that they only have about 20-something flights a day at the airport, so it's not very crowded as far as flights coming in and out. I think, major airline flights in and out, only about 20-something flights a day. But it is here on the border. There are several airports in the area in addition to the Brownsville International Airport, and that may be why. Conrad, thanks. There are some larger towns around here called McAllen. There are some larger towns around here with their own airports, so that's one of the reasons for the low flights into the Brownsville area. But maybe with SpaceX doing more activity here, maybe they will attract more visitors. I'll do about another 45 minutes or so here, maybe 40, 45 minutes, 60 minutes, about another 45 minutes, hour of footage, live stream. SpaceX has a website called SpaceX.com, and they have a careers page on the SpaceX website with the different job opportunities. There's often welding positions. I know somebody who did a welding class and then applied to work at SpaceX. I know other people who are engineers who work at SpaceX. So there's many job openings here. You might check it out if you're interested. Yeah. To work at SpaceX, you do have to be an American citizen, or I believe you might be able to have a visa. I'm not sure if you're allowed to be from somewhere else and use a visa, but definitely if you are an American citizen or live here, you might. I think you could qualify to work here if you have the credentials as well. The time is 2:04 p.m. Crane Man, there you go, Crane Man. That's the person I was referring to earlier, who knows, who likes the cranes and talks about them and everything. Crane Man is the man. That's who I was referring to back on the other stream. Mike. I'm seeing this red tape that they put across there. I don't know when that went up. It seems to me like that's kind of new. I haven't seen that here in the last half hour. So it seems like maybe they just put that up. I'm not sure if you saw it there before, but I'm seeing it there in the front. Oh, sorry. In the back, I'm gonna watch my fingers, but also zoom in a little bit on the back there. You can also see the track of the big crane back there as well. It's at like a 90 degree angle there. It does look like maybe they might turn, but it's been in this position for a little while now. There's a guy named Bill, and some people I'm gonna meet with this afternoon. If you're watching, saying hello to you guys out there in Brownsville. I'll be heading your way in about an hour. I haven't forgotten. I'm still on the way, but in about an hour, hour and a half. See you guys soon. Aft to the crane is a separate ballast tray, floating tray, like on the LR11 350. It says Crane Man. Okay, wow. Crane Man says the crane might be configured with a foldable stinger. Interesting. It's getting hot out here again. The clouds are moving away and the sun's coming out once more. Nick says, I've been following this pretty close and haven't seen a stinger at all. Awesome. Nick asking about the mosquitoes. There are mosquitoes once again, yes. But probably over in the marshes or in the remote camera site. I have over last week when I was out there quite a bit. About 7 to 8 days ago, there were a lot of mosquitoes biting me. But and last night I killed a few mosquitoes, but not as much as a week ago. So they may be. as we get back into the warm weather, the mosquitoes go away, but once it rains again, then we get more mosquitoes. So it takes about 3 days for the mosquito eggs to hatch, is what I'm told. From a while back, I used to live in Hawaii, and they would say like every 2 days or so you should empty out all the water in the basins and things outside that might collect the water, because it takes about 3 days for the mosquito eggs to hatch. So if you can empty the water, any sitting or standing water, every 1 to 2 days, and you can keep the eggs from hatching. So. Let me zoom in. There's some guys there. The LTR is moving. Okay, interesting. Joe says Joe Slater, the stingers are called rooster tails in other parts of the country. I believe the proper name is gantries. Huh. Congrats, Conrad, and everybody else who shared the links. Good stuff. Thank you. He says to Crane Man, the foldable stinger you're referring to is the lattice section that pushes the ballast tray out of the way from the rear of the crane, right? Question mark. Patricia, nice to see you. Crane Man says correct. Right on, Nick. J-Man says to increase lift capacity. LD Sloan, hello from northern British Columbia, Canada. Thanks for the Bucky coverage. Awesome. No enemies, thank you. I'm doing good. Thanks. Wish you the best as well. Audio Blaster, Mr. Loop, awesome. Millonario. Mr. Loop asks if anyone knows how they're reconfiguring the LR11000. Yeah, sharing this, the YouTube channel as well as the different videos helps out. Good stuff, good stuff. Nick says it's a SDWB 96 meter main, 54 meter jib. 96 meter main. It's a SDWB 96 meter main, 54 meter jib. I'll be live here at least another 28 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe longer, depending on what happens here. If they lift it, I'll stay till it gets to the top, but definitely another half hour I'll be here doing this shot. wherever you are on the planet, in the world watching this, wish you the best. Whenever you're watching this, maybe in today, March 3rd, 2022, or some other time, wish you the best. Conrad says we need 491 more viewers, everybody. Mr. Loop asked about how I get the reception here. This is the best I've looked at Verizon as well as AT&T. I've had them both, and I currently use AT&T. There's a lot of dust and silica in the air from all these trucks and everything. So, luckily, it's the wind's coming from my back, so the wind is blowing away from me toward the road in front of us. So, all the different exhaust and stuff is getting blown toward the crane rather than toward me. So, that's a good situation. If this were another day with the stuff coming toward me rather than away from me, then I would be breathing in all the exhaust from all these vehicles. Seeing a Tesla right there on the bottom left of the screen. If there were more Teslas around here, then wouldn't have hardly as much air pollution. Mike Barnes' first ever tweet. Share the link. Good stuff. Crypto Tier says 150 meters. 150 meters is 494 feet. Conrad, I'm gonna watch my, I'm gonna make sure I don't do anything drastic here with moving of the camera or touching the screen. Thank you. I am gonna zoom in on a little bit on the crane, watching my fingers. All right, good work, everybody. Yeah, so AT&T has a good reception out here. Reception here at the build site is kind of spotty, but more recently it's gotten a lot better here than it used to be. So they're offloading some weights there on the right, on the bottom right, either that or loading, but I believe they're offloading. We could see one of the weights coming off to the right there. It's turning back. Maybe it's gonna get loaded. Maybe they're gonna load it. Well, Mr. Loop, I am inspired. Okay, Nick says that weight we're looking at there belongs to the crane that's lifting it. Okay, there you go. Thanks, Nick. I'm inspired with a mission, so that's what motivates me and fuels me. And also the new things as far as collaboration with people, potential to work with people, all that kind of stuff kind of gets me excited as well. So Jackie, well, it's been several days. Jackie, good to see you too. All I can say, Jackie, is send me a new picture, because you've been using the same picture in your message. You know, send me a recent picture. Well, thanks for the support. Either way, thanks for the support. Good stuff, Jackie. Thank you. Thanks a million, though, Jackie. It's good stuff. Whatever you're going through, and if there's any way I can help you with, I think you guys are looking to buy an RV and move around. So, you know, the people at MSX have land, and if you know, whatever's right for you guys. Wish you the best on that. Help you out however I can. Mr. Loop, yeah, I would go to space. Mr. Loop asked Ocean Cam, would you ever go to space or Mars? So I'm one of two official people at Ocean Cam, but I did have a dream a while back in 2021, around the March, April time. I think it was in March, possibly in April, early April, when I had a dream of being in the ocean, and I had a camera in my hand, and someone called me Ocean Cam. Yeah, and that's when I started the channel here in April of last year. But I did start filming and videoing in March, just out of excitement and fun. And I'm still excited about a lot of stuff, and it is still fun. So that's the most. So they moved this truck in here, this flatbed truck, and they're putting one of these weights on the truck. So that's why the truck moved in. I guess they're offloading and moving out some of these weights. They're going to take them somewhere. Thanks, Loop. It was after starting the channel and after really taking a lot of videos, and that within a month or two, I got excited about a larger mission. So I expanded the Ocean Cam. First, I had been called Ocean Cam in a dream. So I was like, well, that's kind of cool. Ocean Cam is a good name. And so I branded the channel, and I started uploading videos based around that idea. And then I had the thought, while looking at all these huge structures that we're looking at here, these huge buildings, I thought, well, it kind of inspired me to think bigger. And I thought, well, there's oceans on other moons and other planets probably. So maybe I could get up there and take some video. Maybe that'd be a really hard thing to do, but a fun and a beneficial thing to do. So I made that the mission here at Ocean Camp to help people focus on that as a goal, to take the surface level, subsurface level video imagery of the oceans on all the different moons in the solar system and planets, all the different planets and from the surface and beneath the icy layers. And that would change the story of humanity. But some people were like, well, how does that make sense financially? Why would an investor be excited about taking video like it would a purely scientific mission generate enough interest and investment? And so over the months, accumulating data, I did an interview with Dr. Caitlin Ahrens of NASA Goddard Space Flight Center. And she said and confirmed what I thought and had found a little bit on Wikipedia. There's an article that shows the different areas in our solar system where there are oceans on these moons and stuff and planets. So she confirmed that in that interview. I have a playlist here in Ocean Camp called the Oceans Solar System Info. That's the playlist with all these clips from that Dr. Caitlin Ahrens chat that we had in 2021. And she confirmed that most every moon in the solar system, and there's over 200 moons, have water on them, whether it's in ice or beneath the ice, an ocean. So, and many of these moons have confirmed oceans with more liquid or more water than the Earth. So that was a good mission that I developed. So again, back to, well, how does that make sense financially? Why would anyone want to invest their money and support a business why would anyone do a purely scientific mission to space so the next derivation, the next iteration on that is to harvest, not only to find the water. We don't have to find the water anymore. We know where the water is, the oceans. The next, on top of taking surface level video imagery and subsurface video imagery, maybe with a small submarine or something, is to harvest the water. And since water is such a valuable resource for fuel, for radiation protection, and also for drinking and for growing crops and everything else, and for trees and all that kind of stuff, it's kind of a number one necessity for surviving off the planet. So for the survival and thriving of humanity in space, we want to harvest that water, which means to have like a sump pump or something like that and pump it into some type of container, like a big Bigelow Aerospace storage tank or something like that. And if we get a swimming pool based of water, which has 600,000 gallons, which has 8 pounds per gallon, which has 4.8 million pounds per Olympic-sized swimming pool of water, which equates to $1,000 per pound of water, equals about $5 billion worth of water. If we were able to contain and transport a swimming pool, Olympic-sized swimming pool of water at the lowest price currently today, it's about $10,000 per pound in space to get water in space. But if we were just to use it at $1,000 per pound, that would be about $5 billion worth of water we could get to harvest. So never mind if it were more expensive, because that's just to get water up there into low Earth orbit. We're talking to get water out there to one of these moons, the surface of one of these planets, or maybe to a moon over there, an asteroid that we want to colonize. So if we get an Olympic-sized swimming pool of water out there at $1,000, that's about $5 billion worth of valuation. So because I think for each pound you want to get into orbit, never mind into past low Earth orbit, there's a video graphic I've seen recently, and I put it up in a video clip from Planetary Resources, and they were showing how to get so much weight into orbit, low Earth orbit, takes so much fuel, and then to get it from that low Earth orbit location to the next distance from the Earth is much less fuel. Once you're in low Earth orbit, you can send things out further for less fuel because it's already up there in space. But to get it, to get a few pounds, it becomes much more complex, because to get just the extra small quantity of fuel that you would need once in low Earth orbit, to get that smaller quantity of fuel, extra fuel up there, to go that extra distance using that smaller amount of fuel, that takes much more fuel to get that smaller amount of fuel up there into low Earth orbit. So it's always a increasing amount of stuff. You need more and more fuel. So if we can source the water up there in space rather than transporting it from the Earth, then that's going to be so much easier and so much cheaper. So if we want to colonize some type of location out there beyond the asteroid belt, beyond the Mars-Jupiter location, asteroid belt, and if we can get it from the Saturn area, from the moons around Saturn, like Enceladus and maybe some of the other moons out there, like Triton and the other stuff, there's 200 moons out there to choose from, then we don't have to ship it there from the Earth. So that was the goal, the mission that I came up with, and it's pretty exciting. Nick, if they start lifting it within the next 10-20 minutes, then I'll stay. If there's any indication that they will lift it, I will stay. Thanks. So it's kind of an exciting thing. I've always liked space since when I was a kid, and I know other people like space too, and Elon likes space, and SpaceX likes space, and a lot of other space companies are moving it forward. Maybe we all saw Star Wars at some point in our life. Most likely everybody here, most everybody has seen Star Wars. If not Star Wars, then Star Trek or Deep Space Nine or some of the others. And this type of mission, this type of stuff is going to make that stuff possible. Comrade says, I personally asked all the other channels to cover this, and they simply said no. Well, there was a What About It had stopped by here. Chief with What About It came by and took some photos, and maybe earlier in the day there were some other channels here. So I don't know who's covering it or whatnot, but yeah, I'm the only one here right now that I see doing any footage or anything. Thanks, Conrad. You're welcome, man. True. Nick says, I know there is another person that does live stream. I don't know, I haven't watched what they do, but there is somebody else that I believe, Jessica, maybe Kirsch, maybe she chats on the live stream. I don't know what she does on her stream, but I've seen her spend time in different areas. But everybody serves a different purpose, so this is just my thing. I like the people connection with all the people is important to me. So let's get the views up, says Conrad. Good stuff. I'm with you, Conrad, 100%, 100%. If there's anything I can do to make it more interesting or whatever. All right, LD Sloan says, yes, Jessica covered Bucky yesterday, a fair amount. Good stuff. I have a second stream going of I believe it's still active, of the launch site. I don't know what's happening over there at the launch site. That might be more interesting, possibly, than what's going on here. I can see these Starship from here. I don't see any. I don't see any venting or anything, but maybe they're covering that. I know a bunch of people do kind of a different format than I do as well. They do a lot of video editing and commentary off-site. So Gary says Starship 20 is frosting up. Awesome, good stuff. Crowd testing right now, says Captain Pike. Good stuff. Is the other live stream active? Oh, it is showing venting. Good stuff, Michael. Thank you. Good stuff. Nick says the crane is a perfect break. Crowd tests are maybe a little tiring. Good stuff. Yeah, Nick says, I think the fans are ready to move on to static fires. Yeah, that's going to be happening sometime, I believe. Static fire, that's going to be awesome when it does. Yeah, the everyday astronaut talks about the flaming end down and the pointy end up, right? Good. That's a good thing that he created there. Tim Dodd, everybody. He's not here, but that's what he says on his stream. Good stuff. Gary says, we need lift. Good stuff. Okay, Crane says they'll probably raise the crane at the end of the day when most of the workers have left for safety. I believe Comrade says, with this group we're going to Pluto, I believe, maybe is what he meant to say. Well, maybe Plato is the correct word, I'm not sure. I'll stay another half hour, see how it turns out. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling like I could do another half hour, so I'll stick it out another half hour. Thanks, Kremlin. So they're going over toward the satellite dish area, and they store a lot of stuff over there by the solar panel satellite dish area they have. I'll do some zooms. I'll watch my fingers, but I'll do some zooms of the boom there. As I can check out the high bay, higher wider band on the left, since we're here. A couple things I can point out. If you look at the top there of the higher wider band on the left, I mean on the right, you can see it doesn't have a roof, but there is also a gap. Just like the building on the left has that black area, that's the opening. That same area on the building on the right, over here, there's an opening which goes down the center there, and you can see at the top there is a gap right there, just like there is a gap over on the finished high bay there. And That's the doorway for the things to go in and out. There was a crane at the base of the area over there by the lifting up those weights, and now that is now over on the right here. So it's traveled over there. I'm not sure what it's doing, but it is out of the way from being over next to the Buckner crane. Get some shots close up of the front of the crane there. Since it's so empty over there, we can see close up and not have anything in the way. So kind of what it looks like right now. There was a guy that used to come on here who called himself Jeff Bezos. I've not seen Jeff Bezos here in a while. There's also another gentleman who calls himself Elon Musk, as well as Elon Musk also shows up here as well. But Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, whoever they happen to be, whether they are actually Elon and Jeff, they do occasionally show up here, and it's always fun because they usually have something somewhat interesting to say. But I was just remembering Jeff Bezos, who occasionally shows up here in the chat. Hilarious stuff. That's good. I see better that one. I saw some videos yesterday about the different events around the world and stuff like that, but also saw some video about Neuralink, and at least a clip from something. I'm not sure how recent it is, but instead of using long wires going into the brain, tiny hair, they originally in the beginning they had some tiny wires, very thin, that would go to the different areas of the brain that they want to stimulate or interact with. And so now they drill I guess they drill a hole in the skull, and the new Neuralink, probably metallic piece that probably gets screwed into the skull there, doesn't go very far into the brain. It just probably less than a centimeter or so into the outer area of the brain there is what I saw, at least on the image that I looked at. So they've been doing some improvements to the Neuralink. I haven't seen any actual company footage of that recently, so I'd like to learn more about that. Sounds interesting. One of the things, in addition to, I believe that they're using for, say, if someone has a spinal cord injury and the neural matter doesn't go across the vertebrae, that they would, and the spinal cord has been severed in that area. Since there is a company called Geron, G-E-R-O-N, stem cell company. They were in the 2007 timeframe through 2000. I believe even today they're working on it. But the Geron was working on a spinal cord repair to lengthen the telomeres and do some other stuff to regrow and regenerate and give people that capability of naturally regrowing their spinal cord. And I don't know if that's capable to do in space. Maybe it'd be a lot easier to regrow a spinal cord in orbit, because I believe we heal faster in space in a matter of 3 days, 96 hours. Apparently, one of the astronauts during the Apollo program had skinned his arm down to the bone, and they were thinking about ending the mission, but they just decided to sew up the arm, and amazingly, within 3 days, unbeknownst to them, it healed. The arm healed itself within 3 days in orbit. So this is an astronaut that had skinned his arm down to the bone. They were thinking about canceling the mission during the Apollo days, but they stayed in space, and it had turned out to their benefit because he was able to heal in space during that time. But so maybe that spinal cord injury repair, using some of the Geron stem cells on some type of artificial matrices for the stem cells to grow, would repair the spinal cord in space. But SpaceX is looking to do something similar, but electronically, with some an implant into the brain, I believe. I don't know if they would need something at the site of the sever, wherever the limb or whatever had gotten severed from the spinal cord. I don't know if they need to put something at that junction also, but at least they are looking to transmit and receive signals and give people more capability in their physical bodies again. One of the maybe an interesting twist on that is not only can they receive the signal and not only can they transmit this signal, using that type of technology, they could also write onto the brain. Just like you write in a book or write on a computer, you can save the software. They could, maybe like in The Matrix and some of the other movies, if you wanted to get the upload on how to learn a skill very fast, they might be able to save the data onto your brain, the other areas of your brain, not just on the chip, and you would get that skill. I don't know if that's a good thing, I don't know if it's a bad thing, because in addition to monitoring your brain, the IMF was talking about that, and the World Economic Forum were saying how they were wanting to, kind of like the Minority Report, if you were having a thought crime, they would be able to detect if you were having thoughts that might not be wanted by some of the people who are monitoring your brain. So this brings into the mix some interesting things that we will have to, most likely, if it all goes forward, figure out amongst ourselves and see what we're going to accept as the new situation here with these brain implants, and not only to willingly get chips implanted in our brain and the Neuralink kind of stuff happening, but also unwillingly, if we were unknowingly chipped, just like you would chip some of your cattle behind the ear or in the nose or elsewhere, brand the cattle. Likewise, many people apparently have been reporting that they have been chipped without their knowledge and without their permission. So as not only some people may get chipped, I don't know if that's actually happening or not. It's just secondhand, I'm hearing about it. So, but if people are getting chipped, and I did hear on the World Economic Forum, Schwab and some of the other people talking about they were going to be implementing some type of chipping of the population without their knowledge, and that was going to give them more control. So maybe, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if it's true or not, but I did see some video where they were saying that in their own words. And as when there is an opportunity to take action, is what I was hearing and seeing. So they are, I believe, I don't have any truth to this matter, actively taking the opportunity, seizing the opportunity to chip the population, and maybe in the future that will occur, maybe not, maybe it's just talk without anything happening behind it. But if that is going to be happening, and then that's just something to think about, because not only can they monitor your brain, they will be able to write on your brain. Maybe they'll be able to erase memories as well, just like we saw with the Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie Total Recall. Pretty interesting stuff. Great, man. Yep. I'll get in front of the camera here. We good? Give me a thumbs up if you can see this. Zoom out. I'll get in front of the camera here too. We lost the signal there briefly. We lose the signal occasionally. Paul Marcus is my name, Ocean Camera Space Corp. I'm going to be here another 5-10 minutes, and been looking at the crane here for a couple hours, and maybe later today, maybe they'll lift it. If not today, maybe next week, maybe Monday, or over the weekend. They do stuff a lot over the weekend as well. So, you know, if you ever hear about anything you'd like to get filmed, let me know around the site here, or any other way you want to contact me about something else. Just send me an email or a message, and we'll chat. Cool. Good stuff. Mike, Captain. Neil Skinner, good stuff. Gary. Joe's High Power Rockets. Good. Patricia, good stuff. Gary says Starship 20 is now fully frosted penguin. A fully frosted penguin. Good stuff. Thanks, Eric. Thanks. Good to hear that, Dan. Yeah, we lose reception, I guess, especially when I move the camera around as well. So, yeah, can't catch everything all the time, right? Good stuff. I like the comment. Good stuff. Try as much as I'd like to. Nick, thanks. Patricia says, I like seeing the small personal cranes running around on the site. I was a rigger in the film industry and played with those a lot. Good stuff. Wow. Yep. A lot of fog over there at the launch site. Let me see. Okay, good. Okay, well, they're doing a lot of venting, I guess. That's the fog you're referring to. It is relatively bluish skies. We get a lot of overcast clouds. Don't see any sun. There's some light coming from between the clouds, but don't see any actual sun or sun rays. Good stuff. Space Pope, interesting combination of words. When the white smoke appears, I got you. Space Pope, good stuff. Space Smoke, something, I don't know, good stuff. Jill asks, does it look like there's enough pieces to turn Bucky into a Kong look-alike, if you remember how big Kong is? Yeah, well, Kong was really big. It took up almost the whole length of the launch site parking area. I don't know if what we're saying right here would take up that same amount of space. No, I would say maybe not as tall as Kong, maybe. I'm not sure, but it did look like Kong looked to be maybe taller than what we're looking at right now. Good question though. I'm not sure, Jill. Does anyone else know that question? How big is the crane we're looking at, the Libra, compared to Kong? And it's there was a half-size Kong a while back. Toward the end of the year, they'd cut the Kong in half, and then they used it for a bunch of things. But the earlier version of the Kong was very tall. I'm going to wind it down in the next 3 minutes. It's now 3:16 in the afternoon, Central Standard Time. Gary says it might have the same reach, but Kong had a power boom, twin boom. Interesting. Nick says this crane is 492 feet. Kong at its tallest was 600. Okay, wow. That's good info. Good info there, Nick. Thanks so much. So 108 feet difference. Interesting. Cool, Patricia. Nice shooting. Well, it's been a lot of fun chatting. I do a stream almost every day, whether I'm here on site or off site. I try every day during the week, do some footage, cover it as much as I can. And oceancam.space is the website. A lot of times sometimes I don't send email directly from my oceancam.space email, because for many people it ends up in the spam box since it's a .space instead of a .com. So if I ever send some of you a message by email, it's oftentimes from my personal email, because that's a .com, and a lot of times I'll put my .space email below my name at the bottom of the email. But that's the situation for that. It's been fun looking at this stuff and chatting, mostly about chatting. And let's see. Been a great day. I'll sign out here. See you on the next one. Paul Marcos with Ocean Camera Space Corp. In 3, 2, Captain, Jill, everybody here.